Good evening. This is Ken at Tortoise Capital with a daily debriefing from the chat room for May 3rd, 2018. I think this is Eric. And what he's built out here is his prep plan for a market that is in a critical state. You can see it's been characterized by sideways quiet channel, breakouts, collapses from critical states, recoveries. So now he's mapped out a plan for finding support at critical levels, and then recoveries, and then breakout to new highs, and then possible collapses with price targets on the way down, and the potential for where he would want to uh, stop and reverse if he got short. So a nice clear visual, and now he's got his sentiment and narrative for this trade. He's got his volume at price to give him, you can see where those key support levels are and why if this one breaks, you're going to get a nice run. And then the speed between these price levels is going to be quick, same way that you saw here, how quickly it moved from price to price based on almost no volume traded, and then where the support developed on volume. So the Euros working through their pieces. Take a quick look at Sonal's work on the DAX daily. You may recall her trading plan from a couple days ago, and this is the collapse from that. So her plan worked out nicely. Now she's preparing this critical state where there was support before. Again, she's working through her discussion preps and all her key price levels, and then working off of this great big bar. She's looking for gaps up and reversals to support levels at the halfway point, where she wants to, she would play stop and reverse, and then where her short side orientation would get to. Again, as always, beautiful charts here, and she's working just quickly through all the key information for her target market. And here you can see she's got the MACD histogram set up 10, 30, and 5. And I'll try to go through this in great detail, but just give you a sense of what professional preparation looks like. And so she's got all her key price levels and her trading plan. These are battle drills and standard plays for her, and that becomes part of the rehearsal and the visual reinforcement. So back through the narrative, back and forth, making sense, checking in, dealing with that, what can be the essential isolation or loneliness of the professional trader. So you see them working their issues here. Here's one from Sonal on the 1 minutes. And she's marking up some of the, because trader quality number is an important part of her work. She's noticing where things are difficult, where they're easy. I really like this entry here after the open, one surge recovery. Could we be earlier here? Maybe, still that's not bad. I don't mind getting paid. I like their quick recovery and reset. And notice this time she's let that, she was able to hold it through one more iteration and still finding their her sell point at the edge of the dragon. And look at this beautiful reversal into the owl. So you have unambiguous move, 1, 2, 3, and now the lower high target, re-entry target, very nice owl reversal, marching, stop and yeah, could this have been a cash? Sure. She held it and took this exit. I would like to have seen this exit, taking the loss rather than the gain, and then holding through the sideways quiet channel, and then a Z3P breakout here. That's where I would have liked to actually have seen it. So you get the same price level as before, but don't have dead money. Time permitting, and depending on willpower left, after this surge, you have an owl entry here in that little, as you entered right in that little pocket with a nice cash. Still, very well done. Taking measured chunks and also monitoring oneself. I chimed in a little bit later with some ideas that come from the world of writing for a living, also an individual craft work where you spend the majority of your time inside your own head, and what it's like dealing with the self-doubt that comes from humble self-awareness and effort and our own limitations, and how you still get through it. Eric chimed in with what I thought was some brilliant insights from a world champion snooker player, talking about performance at the highest levels. So let's shift over and take a look at what Duke's working on. Again, Duke's been working for about 3 days from the workshop, and he's got the really, this is like I think this is front running an a P4, so you have an unambiguous move, surge 1, P1, RLXD, finds support at the Bollinger Band mean, takes off with a 1-2 entry here. Actually, this, he reminded me later, my pardon. This was actually getting short on an owl, and he just color-coded this incorrectly. So that should be a short and a beautiful fractional exit, and then a reversal to the short side as you have that sloping downward move. And you don't even get the RLXD onto the upside. It just crashes through here. And that's a pretty good entry. Could you have gotten it here? Yeah, maybe, but even with a fill, this is good. And then a nice capture right there. So very well done. Like the nice and orderly flow of the indexes, in this case, the leverage cues. And the importance of the dragon as far as smoothing things out. Notice how he, in the downtrend, he gets from one side, swims to the other, keeping the price out of the river the whole time. And then the P1s mark the endpoints of those measured moves. One from Daniel, I think in the same time frame, he caught that one as well. Well done. And notice the weakness when you get the. Let's go back a little bit on the MACD histogram. So below the zero line, when this crosses over and comes up into its own river, and the PSAR flip, bam, and then all the way through, and this is the test point. Now it doesn't really go further than that, and then you have a PSAR flip. And now it's the downside orientation, which is reinforced right here. So any signs of weakness in here, or especially here, when it rejects the zero line and comes out this way, this is a confirmation when it leaves that red river, and then that beautiful trade all the way down. So nicely done. More ideas from the world of snooker I was exploring. This is a champion himself and a coach of champions who are talking about where mental strength comes from. The idea of sound technique and perfect practice and a pre-shot routine, and finding your way of doing things, and then reinforced by sound technique. In other words, yeah, really, sound technique really does matter, and the way you practice and rendering it into rituals and battle drills really helps. There was a summary I wanted to do here. We were taking a look at monthly charts and the power of the PSAR flips and the MACD histogram crossovers on monthly charts. Absolutely essential to understand. Here's a PSAR flip and a P1, and here's where it's just about crossing the zero line, and so you get this entire move, and then the P1, and then it crosses the baby dragon, and a PSAR flip. All happens for this recovery. The next one where it tests the zero line and then holds is here, and this is actually where the signal comes across the zero line, and so you can get long here and hold it through this entire segment. This is where it begins to get weak when it comes back out of its own red river. It's above the zero line, so you have a long bias, but that's not a bad place here to protect against the kinds of moves that you see here. Notice that in this case, instead of finding support and going, this is where it collapsed, and this is where that early warning is when it crosses its own red river above the line. This is a critical state. In this case, it didn't collapse much. But then if this gets you out, and it probably should, now you notice the Z3 pinch and then a breakout, and this is where that signal line crosses, MACD crosses its smooth exponential and to the upside instead of collapsing, and now you get this move. So the significance of PSAR flips and MACD crossovers on monthly charts, absolutely crucial to understand if you want to improve those core asset allocation or blended monthly rebalancing positions, and there's a way to find them on the relative weakness side and not just on the upside. So monthly charts, PSAR flips, and MACD histogram is the wave of the future for us. More to follow as we develop a workshop on those, but you can see where that's heading already. Here's a quick flashcard for you summarizing insights about the MACD 10, 30, and 5, when we have a long bias and a short bias, and then some earlier front runnings and entry points, and then how we use that to fine-tune our entries and stop and reversals. I will be recording a separate workshop on that one for members, but just so you can see how we're using it really as the way to simplify our posturing during price action by paying attention down here to that zero line. Another one from Daniel here, and he's got a short and a recovery, a re-entry and a cover, then a long and a capture. So really trading that one well, using the signal lines from MACD histogram. A little maybe hard to see on this particular chart, but you can see he's trading beautifully in this area here. And here was his long. I'm sorry, here was his short. He was concerned that he missed that one, but he got the first and the third leg. So be gentle with yourself there, Daniel. Just a minute. That's the daughters. Yo. Okay, we're going to take a quick look at the market health check. This kind of day it was in the Dow. A nice slide, Z3P, breakout back to support. NASDAQ, same pattern. New York itself, about the same. S&P, the same. And the TSX, almost the same. So you see all driven by the S&P 500. Coming down to my work area. All right, so let's do today's work, shall we? So that's just a quick look at how you do it in stock charts. So when I make my little adjustments, all I'm doing are pulling over these little hand-drawn 5% increments of pullbacks from the swing high. So just to give myself a sense of psychology of the end-of-day traders. That's the swing high. So this is at 5%, 10%, 15% pull-offs. So this was today's price action, so I'm just going to adjust it to the close so I can see where in that stack we are, about 8%. This is the next one I look at, and that's the slope of the 30 period moving regression. That's this sine wave. You see the highs and the lows I've marked off with red and green. This is where it crossed the 0 line, and so the 30 is just slightly up. So I'm going to pull over the 10, 20, and 30-day look-back channels. I'm going to adjust the 30 and the 60 over so I can get a feel for, like the monthly moves or the 6 and 12-month moves. I've got my little purple price here where I think the next critical price target to the upside would be right at the, when I bring it down to, just the swing high and where the PSAR flipped. This PSAR flipped is what led to this downward look. It flipped once more and then again, so this is really down. So I'm marking off the humps of the baby dragon and the dragon in these blues. Sort of these, I feel like these are lids pushing price down. These are those support levels at the baby dragon, the dragon on the ways up, and I feel like we're still down, and it did come down and test this low here at the 200 today. That's the 200 period moving average. On the 10 period RAF regression channel, still rolling down. The 30 lagged by a day is still up, and we're in the bottom half of that channel at the midline of the 10. You can see the dragon, baby dragon rolling down, the river rolling down. Everything looks down. When I slide down here to the MACD histogram, this is where we cross the 0 line, and still everything is open to the downside. So this still feels like a down market that's going to have a serious test of the 200. The last serious test gave us just this little recovery that didn't even make a higher high. So I look at 1, 2, 3 and down, 1, 2 and support. Really a crucial support level right in here. That was the first shot across the bow. It doesn't help when Elon Musk and the tech speculatives have been cratering enough that really on the upside to warrant enthusiasm. So this is a continuing to be depressed market here. So I'm still short orientation, short-term trading to take advantage of these bigger ranges. And so again, this is a tactical trader's market. Reluctant to hold things overnight, looking to exploit intraday moves whenever possible. So I've updated my health check. I'm going to save it. I'm going to name it the way I usually name it so that I can find it in my great big stack of things. Market MKT 20180503 for May 3rd, 2018. And that gets stored inside my, the reason I name it that way is when I come down here, these are all these daily reports for each of those, which I'm going to produce next. And when I get down to the market, you can see just in this particular folder, I got about 4 or 5 years. So when you have that standard naming nomenclature, you're going to get a very nice resource base, so I can pull up any one of these dates that I want. And now when I am doing pattern trading, I'm preceding not with market, but with the name of the pattern. So you can have one giant storage area and still be able to rapidly recover your items. It greatly simplifies your life. All right, this is Ken from Tortoise Capital. Keep your risk measured and your powder dry.